Okay, thank you all. Welcome to the August 22nd, 2023 meeting of the Library Trustees. And let us begin with that this meeting is being recorded. Let's start there. That's our new lingo. This meeting is being recorded. Now let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. As far as minutes go, I've spoken with Lisa Berg, who was doing our minutes, and she apologized for not having them up to date. You know, with everything going on, I said, we understand.
Yeah.
And now she's gone 2 weeks to Ireland? And she's gone on vacation. I said, and she said, you want me to get ready for it? I said, no. Go. Ignore this place for your vacation. We'll get caught up and we will pass over the minutes for this, and we will have a couple sets of minutes next month. So we will have no minutes today. So, strategy after favorable vote. Well, first of all, I guess we have to thank the voters of Dudley for passing our portion of the vote last week. We are very appreciative, and we will strive to keep the library open to its fullest extent and do the good job that the staff has done, and we thank the staff for being behind us. Now, strategy after the favorable vote. My first thing is staffing. We need a director. And Pat, I know you've put together some items.
Yeah, I sent out a copy of acting director job listing description. I sent a copy of the actual job description for library director, the full description, which just like at first glance needs some updating, I could see. But it was updated last in 2014, so definitely it needs to be updated. And as well as the youth services librarian, I looked at other libraries. I was looking for an acting director sample job listing, but found only one. I was surprised by that, but most of them call it deputy director too. Anyway, Mass Board of Library Commissioners calls it acting director, so we'll stick with that. In the youth services librarian, it does say serves as acting director in the event that the director is absent. So, you know, that's something we can consider.
And Nita and I did talk about that today, just that she knows that's her, she says, I'm doing a lot of the work. I said, well, that is in your job description because we are looking. I said, we had to wait for the vote, but that's that's the highest item on our agenda going forward right now is staffing. And I said, but at this moment, that's part of your job description. She understood that, so we're good there. Do we wish a subcommittee just for that purpose?
Yeah,
I think we should.
Yes, absolutely. We should have a committee for interviewing.
Interviewing, but do we just want somebody to be looking over all these documents and getting back to you?
I think everybody should have a look too.
Okay.
You know, I take the input from everyone and put it together. Yeah.
Now, we've just received those. Do you wish to have
Received what?
her job descriptions, exactly what you just described?
Okay.
Do we wish to have a period of time for everybody looks at this, gets it back to you, and then we have a meeting to finalize that so we can get them out the door? I think we want to
I
get
could
it done.
actually, if everyone has Word, I could send it as a Word document,
Yeah.
and you could make your edits within that, and I could just compile them all to one.
All right, let's do
if that
that.
would work.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Thank you all for the same.
That's Richard.
Oh, okay. I guess we
Hello?
can.
Yes.
Okay, so, yeah, let's do that.
Yep.
And I think that will move things along faster.
Oh, all right. We'll come down and get you.
Another
All right,
one.
bye.
He didn't have his badge.
Actually, it's more the first thing would be the job description for the acting director, because that's
Yep.
what we need to get posted.
Yes.
Also, if we have leads that people give us, potential people who could be interested, I'd recommend finding out if we could, like we have in previous, just going directly to that person and interview them that way, rather than going through the whole posting like we actually would do for a library director.
So if I hear you correct, for acting director,
Mhm.
if we have some names
Yeah,
that I know, people have come to me,
yeah.
go directly to them
Yeah.
before we post it in general?
Send them, yes.
Okay.
If we can do that, I think that would probably be the
Yeah,
best way.
we might as well hold this comment, because this will
Yeah,
actually be said
this is-
again in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because this is
I was just
important.
gonna say that.
We might as well hold that thought, but yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
I would say we have to check with the town administrator,
Mhm.
but, yeah, that would be the way to go.
What are the benefits of doing it that way? What do you think? Instead of following the same process.
Time-wise,
Just keeps it moving.
But I think a lot of potential candidates would think that they have, it's easier to get selected, I guess. That you skip the whole process, you know what I mean? I don't know.
No,
it
no,
can
no.
take months, believe me. I've been through this process.
This is just for acting, and this is a first for us, just to go for acting. and
Actually,
I
we
think-
did have an acting, I can't remember her name, but it was at the old library.
Oh,
After,
like the old library.
yeah, with Jane, when
History?
Jane left.
When Jane
Yeah,
left.
yeah. It was a,
Can't even picture that person. I can't picture her. I know, I remember the episode, but.
it's your
Thank you,
recommendation,
Joyce.
I remember.
Oh, very brief, that's right, you are right. But
Anita.
you are correct, I forgot about that was
Your badge
Shaw.
wouldn't let you in.
Shaw,
I didn't
Mrs.
even
Yeah,
Shaw,
Jeff
I just-
Lawrence.
Jeff Lawrence, you're right,
Lost track.
forgot about that.
Welcome.
I'm here.
Welcome, I'm glad you got
Hi.
here, thank you. All right, and Pat, would you just repeat that for
Yeah.
two
The
members
late
who are
comer.
just running in and
It's all good.
joining us?
Actually,
No, it's good.
Lisa Berg is going to continue doing the minutes, but that was Ben's.
Yeah, that was mine, I talked to Lisa, she's willing to do it.
She's in Ireland now.
She's in Ireland, she asked, she made an oops, she says, oh, I haven't done the last months. I said, it's been crazy enough, we totally understand. And I said, and she says, do you want me to get them done before tomorrow? I said, no, because she was leaving I said, no, we'll get caught up in minutes when you get back. So that's how that was
That's
last.
good news.
Yep.
And then we were talking about what we do next, and that would be to see if we can find an acting library director. And I did send to everyone, I don't
Yeah.
know if you had a chance,
Yeah, I
okay.
did.
And I asked that everyone take a look at least at the acting director listing, and if there's any changes that needed, you see anything glaring, to just make the change. I'll send it as a Word document, and you can make the change right in the Word document, just use a different color.
Is our intention to put out a job, we're looking for a job for a director, but the first year, they would be classified as an acting director, is that what it is?
I
Or
don't,
what are we?
we're looking for an acting director. Sometimes there's someone who's retired,
Yep.
just retired from the library or something, who might be interested in coming in. Maybe not the full, 40 hours or something,
Okay.
but enough to
Yep.
know how to do, evergreen, to do the financial stuff, the reports, hopefully for MBLC that are gonna be due in October.
So we're putting out a request for an acting director.
Acting
This
director would be
also
first.
expands the candidate pool too, to the extent that they may not be fully qualified
Yes,
to be a
exactly.
Oh,
director.
They
Oh,
don't,
okay.
they don't need an MBLC for an acting director.
Okay.
There's always the option that if everything works out, they can apply for the
Yeah.
director's position.
We don't, that doesn't exclude them from applying
No.
for, but it
Some
just
may
gets us
will.
going.
It will exclude them if they don't have
If they don't have the
qualifications.
credentials.
But we already have a few who are getting it within a couple months, that approached me.
It is
So, I mean, it
actually.
could roll right
it does-
into it.
It doesn't exclude, but it does give them a leg up, if you will,
Mhm.
for lack of a better term, in terms of
yes.
going forward.
Gives
If
us a-
things work out well at that
Yeah,
level.
a meet
one
and
would
greet,
think
we
that they
kind of,
could
yeah.
continue at the next.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And I think there is an amount of time that they allow, if they are in a program, enough time that they allow them to to finish their degree, if it's a
Right.
reasonable amount of time.
Right, yep, yep. So before we move on, let's give us a deadline when we have to respond to you, so we keep this
If
moving.
it could be by the end of the week, that would be great,
This week?
yeah? It's just looking at the listing and seeing if there's anything that is glaringly missing. I think it's a good overview, I think everything is in there, it's about staff, training, and it has grants in it. Actually, the first one did too, which I realized when I read through it again, but those were both in there, with the listing I had sent previously, so.
I think, I think this is good as
Oh, you
a
printed it out,
starting
you're
point.
good.
But, on the other hand, I think there are some specifics we need to address. The team player aspect of it, for example, the individual being
Yes.
present at meetings,
Yeah,
the
but
department head meetings,
we
that's point of
would-
emphasis.
We would be interviewing people
Right.
too, I mean, we get into that further.
Get
But,
into
you
the
know,
weeds.
the job listings are kind of an overview, a highlight of what is involved, and I'm going to add something as I put in there about the complete job listing will be sent to you, you know, prior to interview or whatever, so,
Is that like standard practice?
what's
Like,
that?
wouldn't the job description be pretty straightforward when they apply?
Never has been, and if you
Really?
go to mblc.com
Yep.
and look for job offers or
Mhm.
job lists, you'll see the listings are a lot briefer than what I have
Really?
here.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
part.
as a matter of fact, I use some of theirs as guides.
Okay.
Also, the Mass Board of Library Commissioners has a great section for trustees, and it also has a lot of examples from other towns, as far as, job descriptions. I'm not sure so much about job listings, but you can find them online too.
Just a question, apparently you've taken a look at the website recently. There are a lot of openings in terms of positions that people know.
No. No, haven't been
Larry
for
Dash.
quite some time, but yeah.
Good.
So, yeah, and any that I've seen have not been in this area at all. They've
Really?
been more toward Boston.
Yeah.
Boston area, yeah, definitely.
For how long would we have an acting director? Like,
You can have them up to 3 years before you have to. But I would not want to take that long to get a full-time director. Yeah.
Hopefully within a year.
Yeah,
A year.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, very good. So we'll get that back to you. You put together the final draft, we'll all look at it and
Mhm.
then just
We
do
can
it.
start posting
And
it.
I suggest we send, any ideas of people who may be interested to you,
Yeah.
you know, and give you.
I did put your name on the, there's no longer a personnel board, so,
I was saying, don't the names or whatever go to town administrator?
At some point.
Like, I
they'll
thought
have
that's,
to-
they all go to him, they don't come to us. They didn't with the
Well,
last time.
that's what I didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't last time, they went to,
personnel, I think.
that's true. We
But
did have
when-
we had a sparingly little personnel board, you are correct.
But when we did acting the last time, we almost presented and said, we have a person here who will help us
Yeah.
short-term.
Right.
And that's what she did. And it wasn't
But
really.
I think we might have to contact the
Okay.
town administrator.
I
I
didn't-
believe that all,
Process.
Yeah,
all
I'll-
the job things have to go to him and
Right,
then
I
he
just
just-
need an
Yeah.
email address to add on there
Yeah.
so people can send in.
At that point, I think
The
I
problem we
believe-
had with personnel board is that they were collecting all the resumes and not sending any to us.
Mhm.
We need to get them as soon as they come in, you know, that's gonna be
Well,
important.
it was also very cumbersome too, in terms of trying to work out schedules where.
Well, I
meetings-
believe, like there was a deadline, so I think the personnel board, if I was on it, was keeping them till that deadline
Yeah.
and then giving them
Mhm.
over.
But,
so.
Mr. Ruda is, I understand, the head of human
Yes.
resources for the
Yes.
town, so at some point, everything
It goes to him,
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
I believe it does.
Yep, okay. All right, we'll keep that moving.
Okay, so that's something to check on, and I'll check with, Michelle on that.
Just kind of an update for everybody. I spoke with, Lita's back from vacation, so I sat with Lita for a little bit today. I gave her the go-ahead for ordering up books again. I said, get that going, cause it's gonna take a while to get them in here. She says, do we have to wait? I said, no, I said, do it. Starting up programs again. I said, get going. She said, that's gonna be a difficult one, cause we had to cancel, and now getting people in. I said, I understand, but the quicker
Many
you
of
get
them
at it.
may still.
I said, try, go
Yeah,
for it,
I
yep.
would try, yeah. Let's not say no just yet.
Yep,
Go on, let's try.
yep, exactly.
Well, I would think people coming back like from vacation and kind of getting back into the
Yeah,
fall and the
kids are
winter
starting school, and so
activities.
parents
When they got this message in the middle of the summer, as you say, they may have just gone, I'll deal with that in the fall. I'm gonna take the summer off. I'll deal with that, and so we might just
Yep.
get to slide them right back in.
Might slide in for some,
Yep,
not all,
no,
some.
it might help, yep.
And you know what, maybe it'll be a challenge to find something different,
There you go.
to fill the spots that weren't able to be filled.
That's a good thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some booked already, I think, for November, December. Just
Well,
contacting.
they shouldn't have been canceled.
I would hope not, but
Not
I
that.
don't know
Mm.
that for a
I
fact.
don't know. Yeah, we'd have to verify what's still,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, staffing for our aides. Jubilee's starting school again, so she's not gonna be able to fill in as much. Lena's health, well, I should be saying, one aide's health situation, will not be minimum of 9/15, September 15th, that she'll be back. We have one aide who's cut back her hours, and Lita, at this point, is working 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, so we'll have that all covered. She says, I'll go 9 to 5, right through. I said, that's great, just do that, okay? So that's fun, and she and I are gonna sit down and work on the schedule at the moment, work on the schedule starting the very last week of August into September. Question, I was in on Saturday, and Jubilee and Dawn were there, and they turned around and asked me, are we getting Labor Day Saturday off? And I said, I don't know. I said, we're having a meeting Tuesday, I'll let you know. I said, we've gone back and forth on this one. I said, we have some trustees who want, some trustees who don't. I said, I'll bring it up and I'll let you know the vote. So the question is, they would like to have Saturday of Labor Day off so they can have the 3-day weekend. I said, I will bring it up.
Historically, what's happened?
Things have changed, is
It's-
what's happened.
Yeah, for a long time, we were giving Saturdays off for 3-day weekends, so for the
But we
longer
also
weekends.
weren't-
But then,
Open all summer on Saturdays.
right,
Now we are open year-round on Saturdays.
Webster's closed through,
I would
I
like
think
to
past,
close.
I think they're closed Labor Day
think they
as
deserve
well. I mean,
Yeah.
this
They
weekend,
probably deserve a
They're
break.
closed
they've been closed Saturdays for about a month
Oh,
now.
Saturdays, oh, I thought you were
So,
saying they're
yeah, which
closed
is-
now
it's
till.
yeah, they've, that's something of a departure for them, because they usually are open on Saturdays, but that effectively made us the only show in town, if you think of the two towns as being one, which I think is a little bit of a marketing advantage if we wanted to push it.
I will say that my feeling is since we are not doing Saturdays year-round, the holiday is Monday. That's the day off, like every other corporation and whatever business doesn't have Saturdays off because there's a Monday holiday.
Mhm.
The holiday is Monday.
we're not doing Saturdays year-round?
We are
We
doing
are.
Oh,
Saturdays
thank you.
year-round.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I thought I
Yes.
misheard
No,
that.
we are
I
doing
misheard what
Saturdays
you
year-round
said.
now, that just started.
Right,
We never, went into, after June is usually when we do
Right.
that, like, July 1 thing.
right.
And we just had too much else on our plate to have that discussion.
True.
I agree with you that the holiday's on a different day, but I don't know if we would have too many patrons coming to the library on that day, because most people leave for 3 or 4 days. So I
Not
agree that
always,
you're
but-
right.
I mean, but you could say that for every Monday holiday then, that people go away, but we're here for our patrons. And I don't know if there's any programming slated for that Saturday, what's?
There is not, and I must admit, one of the two that work Saturdays has helped out by filling in a lot of hours over the last month. And I think I think they've earned it for just the, as a thank you. I just don't wanna be that
So
tough on
what,
it.
your thought would be this
Just
be a
this-
one-time occurrence?
Yeah, yeah.
A one-off?
Yeah, yeah.
That's my
So
feeling.
going forward, that's fine if that is what, but going forward, what is our policy?
Our policy would be to keep it open, I would think.
It'll be open on
I think we should put,
Saturdays.
I think we should put that into the minutes, I put it as a vote, cause I said, I know we've had discussions both ways, and I totally agree, I have no problem with this, but I think we just have to be consistent. And right now, I'm just feeling generous for somebody, they've been helping us.
As I recall,
But-
one of the additionals, when
What
we
we
added
hired
additional staff, so
was
that
for
we would be able to
Saturdays.
cover Saturdays.
Specifically for Saturday, you're right,
Yes.
oh no, you are right, you are right.
Is that one?
it was
That's one of the
Saturdays, it wasn't
people who's
just-
filling in, right? Has been
Yes.
filling in, right?
Filling
So
in?
if we do make this,
Hours that someone else isn't there at the
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
library,
well, there was
yes.
that too,
like, if
but
we
the-
make this exception, we should let the employees know, and they should know that this is a one-time thing, and it's not going to
Right.
happen again. It
Right.
should be clear.
Yes. I will make a motion that we allow the library to be closed, and I hope, we allow the library to be closed this September, quick, Kate, quick, you coming up with it?
Calendar?
Oh, I think someone's gonna be faster than me.
No.
It would be the 2nd of
Okay,
September.
September 2, 2023, for the long weekend, because Labor Day is the 4th, 4th, I can add, 4th. And that this be a one-time exception, because going forward, Saturdays of holiday Mondays will be open.
I'll second that motion.
I just feel that,
No, that's why I wanted it
I
written
just
down.
feel that, it's really, the patrons that come in are, they're closed again. So that's my whole deal, is like, I really want consistency.
Yep, I
Okay.
don't have a
No,
problem with that.
So that's my only discussion with that, is that going forward, I just want it to be consistent, so people can say, oh, well, you're usually closed. But, I just want it to be,
Just need to post it.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Post it on the doors, just so
Post it.
people know that.
Yep, yep, yep.
We have a motion and a second. Do we
Yep.
need to vote?
Do we have any other discussion? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Good.
I think that would also, Ben, be a good piece to put maybe in, like, the Webster Times or something, and say, just as a reminder, that we are gonna be, we might wanna put a note in that we're gonna be closed that Saturday, but
Going forward.
going forward, keep in mind, folks, Dudley Library is open on Saturdays
Yeah,
for
that's a,
patrons, cause I have been one of those patrons who's gone and literally tried to open the door
Yeah.
and then put my head down, and I'm sure if they're watching the camera, they're like, oh, that poor sad sack.
That-
But,
I know.
But you probably weren't alone, and there are
Well-
other people who've done the same, and that leaves a kind of a bad feeling for folks who
Right,
have
right.
come down to the library to find a locked door. That
Yes.
doesn't-
But thank
Yep.
you for saying that, Kate. That reminds me, we should try to start getting something in the Webster Times on a regular basis again.
oh, I did notice that
Yeah, just kind of a list, some listing of even the, the book club, the knitting club, just what's happening there, the story times.
that shows vibrancy.
It does.
In your group, and there are some people, I read that paper, it's usually 9 or 10 o'clock at night, but I always, when I get home, I read it, my husband laughs at me, but I read it cover to cover, because there's a lot of things that you catch in there that you might not catch someplace else. I know.
Well, effectively, it is the only show in town, other than the social media things, and I don't think we want to rely too much on that.
No.
Yeah, is that something that we could put on our Facebook page?
That was what I was gonna say,
Oh, yeah.
who's running our social media at this point?
Lita,
Lita? Okay, cause it should go to all,
Yeah, I think
all
it should,
forms,
yeah.
So Lita's doing social. And, cause I did ask her today to update the sign, cause it's still talking about summer reading, which ended
Oh, did
2 weeks ago.
we find out why it was off? Did we
I think it was my fault. I think I got there too early that morning,
Oh.
and it's off overnight.
Yes, it is. It goes off at like 9:30 or?
And I just
forgot
laughed,
what
I said,
time.
well, Benjamin, you were up out of bed too early that morning, because I went by, I went, what? Because later that morning, I went by again, it was on, and I went in, I said, why is it on? And they went, what do you mean? I went, oh, it's me. It was me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just me.
So I have a question about programs.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember, you probably all do. we had an understanding with Drusilla that starting now in September, we would start evening story time. We had a lot of conversations about that, and she said that Alita would start now in September. Have all programs been canceled, or?
I asked when she said 9 to 5, I thought about that, I said, what about the evening
Yeah.
story time? She says, if I'm doing 9 to 5, there's no way I can do evening. I'll be busy enough, blah, blah, blah. The morning, the normal runnings will happen.
Okay.
And that was the end of that discussion at the moment. I mean, we can,
So are
We
we
did have a-
open Monday nights and are we open Thursday
yes, we are
nights?
open, but it's going to be with aides, not, because we
Not
don't
with
have a director. And I really want the 9 to 5 covered, and they will cover, we will be open Monday and Thursdays. But I
I
would
was
like
in
her
yesterday
there.
late, and they had, nobody was in the building, they commented that it was very, very slow. But a couple of us did submit documentation for Cory checks. I'm not sure, I'll check with Michelle to see where that's gone, if that's gone anywhere. I think there's a charge associated with it, so I suspect it's just,
There's a charge?
I think it costs something.
There
I
may
don't-
be now, yeah.
So I
was Cory
suspect for that
checked when I
reason
became a
alone, it's probably
trustee way
just sitting.
back when.
Yeah,
I came
but
across the
it's-
papers when I was going through
It's
my
only
file.
valid for,
Yeah.
you have to redo it.
Oh, you have to do it for every single thing. I did it for church, I did it for this, and then you had to do it for that. I mean, did it for school, you had to do it for everyone. But to Richard's point, you were talking about the possibility of volunteers running evening
Yeah.
story hours, and we had that whole discussion, but you two weren't part of that at that moment. So I think we just bring it up again and plan that.
Well, let me check with Michelle to see if that paperwork went anywhere. I think
Okay.
with the hold on a lot of things
Yeah, I
probably
didn't submit because we weren't in
didn't
a
wanna
place to do
spend
that.
whatever money.
Well, no, I didn't know anything
Well, I
about money.
think that might have been part of it.
Oh, I
They
didn't
were
know
holding
that.
back on a lot
Oh.
of things in terms of not, you know.
No, I just knew we needed other decisions made.
Friends have a book sale planned for October. They have been selling, books ongoing in that corner of the library, and they're actually running low. So they will be looking for donations for their October book sale, and there'll be more out. And Pat is showing their latest and greatest. It's a book bag,
Oh, I
it's a
love it.
tote bag of all
Cool.
variety.
Place for your phone. carry
$15,
your
as I
laptop,
recall, right?
$15, yeah.
$15. I put my name in. So they're in?
No, I got this quite a while ago.
Oh, I was gonna say, because I put mine on the list and it was just, you have to wait then, okay.
So they're selling bags, are they selling anything else, or is it just bags?
Just the bag.
At the moment, that's it, yeah, the bag is being sold. Sign update. The story times they are gonna start up after Labor Day. Pokemon and the Lego clubs had very slow attendance lately. And so she's gonna try them on Saturday, just for variety. She said, I'm gonna just try something different. I said, okay, mix it up, see if we can get it. And she said, they're asking for it back in the week, we'll do that again, but she says, I just gotta, try something new. I said, that's good.
So is there any programming scheduled for Saturdays coming up?
I don't know.
It's probably too soon to determine that. We're just getting back into things now.
I know, but things
Yeah.
were scheduled, I just didn't know where that
Well,
stands.
they canceled those.
Everything was
Anything,
off the
anything
calendar.
for
Wait,
the,
what did
I don't
they
know how
cancel
far,
up to?
I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
how
what I was
far they
curious.
canceled.
I think
don't know.
everything after July, maybe.
After
Well,
July
that would,
1?
that would make sense.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that's back on now maybe
We do
is
have calendars posted in
the
the building,
crochet,
the
the
one
knitting
that's on
club,
there.
the
I think
reading
take a look.
book club.
That's all on my list at the moment. Obviously, that's the most important, is getting an acting director. Let's keep that moving. Depending on, the person who's out on medical leave, it may be longer. We'll just have to get knowledge of that, and if that's the case, we will have to replace, obviously. And we'll sit and try to figure out staffing. I mean, because we have, we are tight on staffing.
Right.
We require, several years ago, we made the decision that has to be 2. We push for 3, and once last week we were down to 1 for one session, and that was taken care of by a volunteer, so we'll continue to do that, and I will probably ask to reach out if that happens again, and until we have an acting. Because once we have an acting, we should be we should be good.
Can we get an updated contact list of everyone? That would be good. And was there ever a schedule of meetings for the year made up?
I told Amanda that we would work on that tonight, thank you, because then I would give her a longer list. Because I just said, we are meeting Tuesday, and okay, let's just, I have meetings that already in my book. I have the 4th Tuesday, September 26th,
Yep.
October 24th, and then we said November 28th should be it, but we were thinking we would, no,
Combine
I'll
it.
take that back. We're gonna combine, what were
November,
2?
December?
November, December, we
November,
tend to
December, we tend to do that one.
combine.
So let's pick a date right now.
Say unless there's an absolute necessary.
Yeah, obviously we can call an
Yeah.
emergency meeting anytime,
Right.
but, 5th, 12th, I say stay away from the 19th, we're getting too close. 5th or 12th, which would you rather?
Do the
Fifth.
5th.
Okay,
So
library.
12-5 is gonna be the combination.
Yes,
November,
and so get
December.
rid of the 28th, boom, boom.
With the expectation that there may be others sprinkled in there.
Oh, yeah, we're going where we're going, okay,
some
then
response.
that puts library on January 23rd. And then I run out, so
27th.
February 27th, okay, let's see, February
Go
27th.
to March the 26th. You want the 5th, Tuesday?
Yep, 4th through the 26th. April, keep going, Richard, you're doing fine.
April will be the 23rd.
23rd.
May would be the 28th.
That's, Memorial Day
that'll be
is
a-
the
Yeah,
27th.
27th, yeah.
That'll be
Could do the 21st.
21st.
Mm-hmm.
21st, let's do 21st.
So we just need to know if there's like, who holds meetings on the 3rd Tuesday of the month?
Of the month.
That's the issue is, like, does the planning board on, is that what it
Meet on
is?
Wednesdays.
Or
Wednesday
is it the
nights.
historical?
Usually.
Grids or conflict one time?
Yeah, you're right. And we just had to be out by 7, and we had a very quick meeting that night. Which, that's not a bad thing either, once in a
All
while.
right, well, I'll ask Michelle, who meets the 3rd Tuesday of the month, if anyone? I got the
So
question.
then June
June
25th.
25th, okay.
So
And
when
then
is
that'll be,
voting? Yeah, when is
that'll be,
voting?
that'll be reorganization, because the,
In mid-June, isn't it?
the voting is early June.
Yeah. before that.
Yep. Okay, and I will get this to Amanda, I will get this to everybody, Michelle, we'll just make
I
sure
think
they all
the
know.
town clerk is the one that.
Yeah.
Isn't she the one that usually requests it?
Usually,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we post everything with her, we'll post it with, she, and then Amanda, so we have the videographer, and away we go. Thank you for reminding me of that one.
Also, can we add to the bottom of our agendas?
Ah, yes,
Any items discussed? I'll send that to you.
please,
Any
yeah.
items discussed but not listed on the agenda are items not reasonably anticipated as a topic by the chair 48 hours in advance of the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
That's listed on the selectmen's
Yeah.
agendas, so.
Yes, and that always just
Oh,
covers
probably
that
a-
area.
We just had it on the agenda yesterday.
Because I checked the agenda, I just went online yesterday and checked their.
Their agenda?
August 7th agenda, I think it was.
All right, it may have been there, but it wasn't yesterday's.
Okay.
Yes,
You're gonna
there's
send that to me,
copies of
right?
it.
Because the
Yes,
only
That-
thing I
that
was
was probably
aware
an
of was
oversight.
This one.
the recording is
Yeah,
being
that one.
recorded.
But
And
that-
I
this
added
isn't
that.
That's all it needs
required.
to say.
Okay.
is
That's
this
I think
meeting
I
is
just
being
mentioned
recorded.
it at the last meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
If
That's
it-
all it has to say is this meeting is being, I thought it was like a whole blurb.
No.
Like really,
This is
like
a little
they read
calmer than-
long thing. I'm
this
like,
is-
that's it?
This is a little calmer than executive session.
Yeah, no, they
No,
don't.
no, I thought it was a longer blurb than that.
Well, they don't read that at the meeting itself, I don't believe.
They do.
I thought
do.
Well, they did it last night's meeting, they announced that
They
the meeting
announced
was
that this is being recorded.
Oh, that part, I thought you were talking about the thing I mentioned.
No,
at the-
no,
Oh, no, that's, yeah, that's fine. Another item that we pushed forward from last meeting was a secretary's position for this board.
Right.
And I did speak with Adriana, seeing that she's very nicely going to be dealing with
Agendas.
the agendas and somewhat, kind of what a secretary do. I asked her if she would be co-chair slash secretary.
We need to vote on that, I think.
Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes. This is a
Okay.
vote. This is a vote, but we have to get her opinion first. I
All right.
said, think about it, because I'm gonna bring it up, please.
Well,
And I just leaned in to see if I could bring it up.
I thought you were going to, we'd vote first and then.
No,
get
no,
her
no,
opinion.
no, no, we gotta let her have her opinion.
I'm inclined to accept, but I wanna know exactly what does it entail?
And Pat can tell you that better than anyone.
Being the old timer here.
No.
No. Because Lisa is going to be doing the minutes, it's just making sure she gets the minutes to us and distributing them to the trustees prior to the meeting. It's supposed to be 48 hours, business hours before the meeting, usually on a Friday. And then after the minutes have been approved, submitting them to Lori Smith, the town clerk.
That's the only requirement?
Essentially, because.
The agenda has to go to the town clerk too.
Yeah, the big thing was the meeting minutes.
Yeah.
The
I can
last-
do that.
And we will have to work together to create probably some minutes for a couple meetings we had special.
Got some
I
holes.
know, this is gonna, we have some holes during this crazy period this
Yeah,
summer.
exactly, to go back to the old format, which is, basically, we follow the same format of items as on the selectmen's meeting. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's worked well for us, obviously. We do not have all the same things. They don't have a library director and things like that, but, do you have a copy of the, you must have a copy of the older minutes, or I can send you
Yes.
something? Okay, all right.
So, that being said, I'll ask for, go ahead, one
I
more.
would say the only other thing is if a meeting, the other good thing to send out is an email to, or text, or however people want to be contacted, to all the members, asking if they will be at the meeting. Because if we don't have a quorum, then there's no sense holding the
We have to
meeting.
have 4 people.
And if we don't hold a meeting, if a meeting gets canceled, we have to notify the videographer. Because we will get charged if they come and we don't.
Okay. So I do have all the minutes that have been sent via email. That's all I have.
Okay, that's fine.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
All right, if it's appropriate at this time, I
Please.
would nominate Adriana as secretary for the trustees going forward.
Second.
Co-chair.
Good, the continuous co-chair. We're not taking
Continuous,
that.
well,
Continuous co-chair.
Wearing 2 hats,
Yes.
co-chair and secretary.
I second it.
Any other discussion? Thank you for being quiet. All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you. All right. Anything else come before us that we're wanting to discuss this evening?
Are we going to, in the absence of having a director, are we going to be getting our budget from, the tax from Carmichael?
I probably, because that is one of my questions, is after this meeting, where exactly do we stand? And I'm gonna, I was thinking of starting with the town administrator, but Rich, one of the two, just to see where are we
Yeah.
at this point? Cause
Yeah.
I signed some vouchers today. I signed some
Actually,
vouchers.
I'd like a,
I'd like a report.
end
Report.
of last year, budget.
Final 20,
23.
23.
FY '23 budget, yeah, cause there's
And
always
current.
things that straggle in
Yep.
after the
And then
budget
a copy of
closes.
the current
and then,
FY
Yeah,
Yep.
'24.
exactly.
yep,
That'll be important with, has Lita contacted the Mass Board of Library Commissioners just to let them know that all is good?
I was questioning whether it had been brought up about the book delivery, which I don't know if all of you knew that it was about to get shut off, but we took care of that last
You got that
Thursday.
changed.
Yeah, that got took care of, but Ann was supposed to call them, today at so I don't know where that stands. Oh,
guess I need more
there was a,
information on
there was a telephone call to the library
Mm-hmm.
saying, the books will be stopped being delivered on the 17th. Right?
Where did they
And
get that date? Like, don't
I
know.
think, and I think we deciphered it that if the message was sent that on the 17th, there is a vote to see what happens, and somebody took it to close the books down. So it was like, I was there with Ann, and I said, okay, nothing changes until the 23rd, Wednesday, tomorrow. I said, nothing changes, we'll call you either way, because if it's good, keep it going, that's the way we've been doing. If it's a bad vote for us, we're gonna have to talk to you, because we're gonna have to figure out some sort of schedule, because we can't just turn it off. So that's how that was left, and I've gotta get back to Ann. Ann was gonna do it, and I'm sure she did, but we've got to make sure that, because they said they got book dropped today, so I'm sure it's on,
Yeah,
but we
and I
just.
have two items in transit, so I'm glad
Yeah.
they're gonna continue it.
So these are the books that are coming to our library from
Other
other
libraries.
libraries,
Yeah.
borrowed,
Books,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
Exactly.
And is it picking up things from our library to
Yes,
go to the
yes,
library?
oh yeah, yep, the gray boxes were there
It's a
being filled. and-
two-way street.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Fantastic.
It's an amazing service, actually. I had a book recently from the State House. State House Library, which I didn't realize was included. At least that's one thing our representative wasn't reading.
Alrighty. Anything else? I'll entertain a motion.
How
Oh,
about
wait,
board
wait,
members'
oh,
comments?
Yes, oh, excuse me, that's kind of where I was at. Well, that's where I was at, Joyce, relax, that's where I was at. I asked, would anybody have anything else they wanted to bring up? Isn't that, okay?
I'll make one comment. I
Okay,
think
comments.
this gives us an excellent
Yes.
chance for a restart, if you will.
Yeah.
I think we've learned a bit in terms of some of the past experiences, and I think we may be better able to focus on what we're looking for in terms of the kind of individual that we need to
Yeah.
keep the momentum going. One of the unfortunate things is I'm afraid our carpeting is probably not going to
Oh.
rise to the top of anybody's list of things to do for a long time. I don't know if we wanted to maybe try and some of the furniture as well is showing some wear. I don't know if we wanted to maybe try some kind of a effort in the community and see if.
So that brings up a question. The past director was the contact person
Right.
for many of the organizations and was sending emails out to, and now when they respond, where do those emails go?
Good question.
No, I'm like,
That
if
her email
the
count-
upholstery company was contacting, replying to an email that was sent by the past director, you know what I mean, where does that go? Because they may have replied
And we don't know it.
with a quote, for all we know. But where does
We
that
need to
stand?
find out who the vendors are, really.
Her CW Mars account is gone,
Yeah.
so as you say, I agree. Lead it for different things that have been brought up.
Yep.
But you're right, telephone-wise, she stepped in, but you're right, emails,
Yeah, there were
where are they?
emails,
Yeah,
right, like-
you're right.
What happens? They just get a rejection and they're not gonna
Well-
pursue that.
Her email was shut down, and wasn't there a bounce back that basically said that that email was no longer?
I never tried. Did anybody ever try to
No,
use her?
no.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have had reason to, I don't
Yeah.
think, but you're right, there probably would have been something.
I,
if it was
I,
undelivered.
I did get a bounce back, because when I got the initial email saying that she was stepping down,
Yes.
I sent a note back and just basically, you know, very cordial, wishing you best of luck on your, you know, events ahead, and it did come back to me, so.
Did it say anything, just hello? Did it say?
I might be able to find it.
That'd be nice.
And if I
That'd be
do, I will
interesting.
send it to you.
Please, yeah, that'd be interesting,
My
because
ten
that may
thousand
help
plus
answer what
emails.
you're.
That's a really good question, Joyce, I'm glad you
forward
brought that up.
to- Yeah.
I just know that she claimed that she contacted
Right.
many vendors
I agree.
about things,
I
but we
remember that.
always
I
was,
agree.
oh, I haven't heard back.
I agree.
So
And
that's
we
my,
probably-
what if there's, come.
The
something's coming up.
the unfortunate thing is I don't know that funding is gonna be available for
No, I
these
know,
things going
but-
forward, but at
Mhm.
least
Right.
we wanna establish that
Yes.
communication
But,
and see.
yeah, just to have the
Options.
connections, you're right, you
And
are right.
We probably would have access to that email because it's not her personal email, right?
Right.
It's the
So CW
email-
Mars.
CW
Yeah.
Mars.
CW
we'd have to
Mars,
contact
yep.
somebody, yeah,
Um,
inquire.
As far as monies go, I think the Mauser grants would be right up their alley for this. She loved libraries, and,
yeah.
you know, there are other places to go that
Right.
we won't be able to get the whole shebang,
Yeah,
but we
And
might be able to
that's-
talk to
They do those in
them.
the spring.
yeah, I was
They
gonna say,
do
I think
this-
April is
Yeah,
usually
I
when
was
they're
gonna
doing,
I think
yeah.
there's another one coming up in November. Don't they do it twice a year?
I don't know.
I think they just.
I don't know
yeah.
about twice a year, I just, in my mind,
I'll have
I
to
can
look
remember
at
them
it.
doing a spring.
Yes,
The
definitely
Mauser
spring,
yeah,
definitely
spring.
springs.
And the other thing we have pending is Prophet's Corner.
Yeah.
That's really pending.
Yeah.
No, what's that? I'm sorry, Crawford's Corner.
Crawford's
okay.
Corner. I did speak with Joanna and
Oh,
Caroline.
you did?
Oh, were they happy?
My thought would be
Joanna
that.
at MLA?
No, Joanna Crawford.
Oh,
The two
okay.
Crawford, I did speak to them after the,
I think the first priority would be acting director, and then depending on how that person
Mhm.
acclimates himself and how quickly, then maybe move towards that again, but not,
we, correct me if I'm wrong, we told Drusilla when this was all happening that just put that on, tell them it's on the back burner. I'm kinda surprised that they haven't reached out anywhere just to see what the status is or kept track of Dudley or hopefully
well, we were on
reach out.
Channel 10, if they watch the news out of Boston, they might have gotten it.
Yeah, no,
And like I said, her email.
Yeah,
is the
no,
email
no,
that they
you're right.
This is why I, when I was there, said that I wanted to be CC'd. It wasn't that I wanted to communicate.
Know
Well-
exactly what you're saying.
I wanted to be CC'd so that I was aware. I wasn't trying to step on anyone's toes. I
think,
wanted to be
yeah.
aware. That's
Again,
all.
lessons learned, follow-up
Moving
has to
forward,
be a
yep,
part
yep.
of whatever discussion we have going forward in terms
Yes.
of new staff. We have to
I
close the
think-
loop here.
With the CW Mars, email, I don't have it here, but you had sent me a note saying that that account had been shut down. There should be a technology person who can access her prior account, because I know that they can
Yeah.
at our place of business.
I just wonder about
in this
HIPAA.
day and age, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's my only thing, like, you know what I mean? Could they claim that that was her email, whether it's business related or not? Do they consider it
No,
personal?
if it's a business one, it's not owned by her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you should be able to, we should be able to get
Using
access.
Because I have a
On behalf
feeling
of the
there's
library.
definitely
I
emails.
would not be surprised.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think moving forward, hopefully we'll find a folder that says something about carpeting and who she's been reaching out to of some sort, and to
Well-
move forward, cause
In the past meetings, though, she voiced who it was, so I believe it is in meeting minutes, like, who
that's
she
what I'm
was
saying, I
dealing
mean,
with.
that's what I'm saying.
We do have some.
I don't wanna rehash all that,
No,
cause that's
right.
water in a dam, but I
Right.
agree with you, we wanna go forward, and who do we go forward with?
Well, in order to go forward, I think we have to take a couple of steps back,
Yeah.
and then, and just kind of,
Recoup.
old school, collect that information.
Exactly.
And then, start moving forward again.
Because I'm sure there's probably thousands of emails at this stage of the game, just since July.
Yeah, that would be a full-time job just
Yes,
for
to
one
look
person to
through
go
emails,
through.
yeah.
Any other comments or observations?
I want to thank the patrons and the citizens of
Again?
Dudley.
Thank you.
And patrons, I mean anyone that comes to the Dudley Library. But the citizens of Dudley, I want to thank for helping save the library, and most importantly, our staff. You know, it's been really stressful,
Yeah,
and
that's been, they've
Oh,
been
we really
through,
do
yeah.
thank them very much. You know,
They
it's a lot of
very
work.
much appreciated the flowers and the cakettes that were delivered on Friday. I walked in on Saturday, and went, thank you. You can always get us with food, Ben.
Keep that in mind.
I was hoping there'd be some left by Monday, so it's like, I got a big box.
Oh, thank you, Pat,
Yeah.
for taking the initiative on that.
That was very nice of you.
Anything else?
If it's appropriate at this point, I would want to make a motion that we adjourn.
Take a second. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
We are adjourned.